new USC study is raising questions about the health effects of vaping. Researchers found that the type of vaping device and even the flavor could play a big role in changes to gene activity, which has been linked to cancer and other diseases.
That's right. We're joined now by Dr. Ahmad Basaratinia. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
Yeah, he's a professor of research, population, and public health sciences at the Keck School of Medicine of USC and senior author of the study. So we're excited to talk to you about this. But I think most people would be surprised by these findings that both flavor and the device type mattered. I think people know vaping is bad, but I didn't think they thought those specifics would change how bad the impacts would be on your health.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Good morning. Well, previous work in our laboratory as well as others has shown that vaping causes molecular changes, including changes in gene expression that are linked to risk of diseases. This new study took this one step further to identify what drives those changes, what are the causes of those changes. And interestingly, we found that the type of the e-cigarette devices as well as the type of flavors that people consume are major determinant of those changes in gene expression that are associated with risk of diseases.
Is there a reason why the certain flavors would cause this to happen?
Yes, some of these flavors contains chemicals that are known to break down upon heating into reactive chemicals such as aldehyde or acetaldehyde or volatile organic compounds that can react with DNA and other macromolecules in our cells and cause damage.
Interesting. Okay, so then which flavors and which devices are the most harmful? And is the difference enough that you could say, oh, well, I should use strawberry instead of cotton candy? Or is it just all bad, but some is worse than others?
Yes, the latter is true, what you stated. What we found was food flavors were related to a high proportion of changes in gene expression that we observed in vapors, as well as the type of device, the advanced disposable mod, which are tank-style devices that can deliver high quantity of vapor to the user. And in terms of whether or not certain flavors are less harmful, well, what we recommend, we would not advocate for any types of flavor, but what we demonstrate here is that depending on the type of flavor that you use, you put yourself at different degrees of risk. And as I mentioned, flavors are one of the key factors that contribute to those adverse effects.
Okay.
So interesting.
Yeah, and while we have you here, the FDA just approved a device that they claim is child-proof and is a flavored nicotine vape. Can you give us your thoughts on that decision?
Well, in reality, we all know that teens find ways to get access to electronic cigarettes no matter what, either through peers or through social media. The fact that matter is that teens are at much higher risk of being dependent on nicotine, and nicotine has much more consequential effect on teens and youth because nicotine causes adverse effect on developing brain in specific areas that are responsible for mood control, impulse, and learning. And human brains continue to develop until the age of 25. So the fact that these devices are out there and teens and adolescents have the chance to get access to them is quite concerning. So the regulatory framework for making these devices accessible only to target population, which in the eyes of the FDA is adult smoker, should really be very, very strict about that.
It is all very interesting findings, especially that the flute flavors are more damaging than the other flavors. So it's all good to know. Dr. Basaratinia, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. Very important findings. Yes, some great work there.